Hey guys, I'm sitting here on the tailgate of my truck after I washed up the Hells Bay Marquesa. And today on Flats Class YouTube, I want to give you a little walkthrough of what I've done with my custom Marquesa. Something I did with the Eldora a couple of weeks back, and you guys really responded well on Flats Class YouTube, so I want to share this walkthrough with you because I just got this boat a couple of weeks ago and I've been so preoccupied with the Eldora, I haven't really had much time in this boat. But today I went out and ran it on Crystal River, and tomorrow I'm going to be fishing out of it. So I want to give you a quick walkthrough and just show you some of the things that I did with mine that might help you make better decisions when you build your Hells Bay Marquesa. Stay tuned. All right, well, I just got done washing up the Marquesa after a nice little test run. Let's start off with me giving you kind of the tail of the tape with this boat. The hull itself is made out of carbon and negra, so it's extremely light. This hull, believe it or not, only weighs 695 pounds. That's it, which allows me to add some accessories to the boat to make it a little bit more, well, comfortable for me and my clients. The overall length of the boat is 18 feet 1 inch. The beam of the boat is 79 inches. That's right, that's a wide boat. That gives you a nice, comfortable, stable fishing platform and riding platform. I'm 6'5", 235 pounds, so it's nice for me to be able to move around on the boat and everyone feels like they're not being, tenderly thrown off. I mean, this is the boat for guiding. It's also an excellent tarpon boat, an excellent red fishing boat, snook, bonefish, you name it. It's got dead rise through the entire length of the boat, so it's got an unbelievable, buttery, velvety ride that you'll really enjoy. Now, I want to take you through the boat step by step and show you some of the stuff that I did that kind of customized it to the Flats Class style of fishing. So, without further ado, let's take a look. All right, let's start back here on the Transom first. You're going to notice that the first thing I've done is I've moved over and I put a 115 Mercury Pro XS on this boat. That's right. The boat is horsepower rated for anywhere between a 90 and a 150 for optimum performance. But the 115, with as many guides and as many clients as I've pulled over the years, the 115 seems to be the perfect motor platform that kind of splits it for everybody. So I'm going with the 115 on this one, and I'm sure based off the performance that I experienced today, which was a little over 50 plus miles an hour, I'm going to be really satisfied. The other thing I've added to the transom of the boat is something I've done in the past on the last one, is an 8-foot power pole blade. That's right. In older Marquesas, I always went with the 6-foot signature series, but I feel with this 8-foot blade gives me a little bit more comfort in anchoring on the beach and some of the creeks that I fish here on the nature coast, especially with current. So it's been unbelievable that way. You'll also notice I did not put a jack plate on. I feel like my boat floats shallower and performs a little bit better without a jack plate. If I need to run over really shallow water, I usually just trim it up a little bit and either run for a short distance or I just putt over it or trolling motor over it. Now, I'm going to take you through the back deck platform of this boat and show you some of the stuff I've done. Let me show you what I've done here at the back of the boat. Number one, I went with a backrest this year. I got too many complaints from everyone saying, man, these long runs, I'd really be nice to have a backrest. Well, I also found it was very handy to have a step up to the poling platform. So this year, I did go with the backrest. It folds up nicely out of the way if I need to get into the live well. And as I put it down, it's one step and I'm right back up here. You'll also notice that I've got some tubes here. What are those for? Well, I did it. I got a sissy bar. That's right, tarpon season this year, I'm on the nature coast instead of down in Pinellas County. And I'm going to need something called a trolling motor, and Power Pole has one this year. So I'll be using the Power Pole trolling motor to work those tarpon schools. So I went ahead and got one of these. That's right, a sissy bar. I'm not getting that old, I promise. I still love the push pole, but it is going to make things a little easier here in deeper scenarios, deeper water scenarios, and with some current and wind in open water. So I went ahead with that. You'll also notice on the top of my polling platform, I opted for the foot buttons. That's right, foot buttons, and then my standard T-bore push pole holder. Now those foot buttons do a fantastic job. One touch, the pole goes down firmly, securely, and quietly into the bottom. This power pole plays a role in my everyday fishing, whether I'm fishing in 6 feet of water or if I'm fishing in 10 inches of water. It is something I rely on. Having those foot buttons where I can just one tap of my foot while I'm reeling a fish or push poling is a big, big help rather than having to fumble for a fob and try to put it up or down. So I really enjoy that. Now, further along the back of the boat, I want to go through these compartments down here, but that's going to be in this next clip, so stay tuned. Every time I do an organizational video, I like to put my stuff in the same place. And the reason I do that is so that I can find it just like that. Every boat's the same boat, and I don't have to think about where I put stuff. Now in the Hells Bay Eldora, that changes. You got to be a minimalist. But in this boat, you can bring the kitchen sink in this boat. So in this particular boat, the starboard hatch, well, it's a slam hatch, slam locks, and it's a very deep compartment. Life jackets, 3 big life jackets, Coast Guard rated, all my safety gear, documents, navigational chips, foul weather gear, sunscreen, first aid, fire extinguisher, you name it, it all fits in here. And it has a super deep channel here with a rubber gasket that never allows water to get in there. It is absolutely a dry hatch. I mean, when I say dry, it's dry. On the port side, I always put tackle. And when I say I put tackle, I don't like my stuff sliding around because these compartments are big. So I put them in plastic boxes as big as that. So I can put all the mirror lures in one, all the Z-Man in another, line, leader in another. 3 of those boxes fit in there quite comfortably and nothing gets lost. I mean, nothing. And it's nice and clean and easy to use. All right, the third hatch back here is actually the live well. You're like, well, CA, you're not a live bait guy. Well, at times we use crabs for tarpon fishing and permit fishing. And at other times we might use shrimp to fish for sheep's head and things like that. So I put a little crustacean lid in here. It's nice and clear. And this particular hatch for the live well, also, when you get in there, you have a light in there so that you can see the bait. If you need, and if you're the guy that throws a cast net, and you're like, well, how am I gonna get all my bait into that hatch? Well, here's how you do it. You lift up the main hatch, and that's a 30-gallon live well that you can shake a net in, and you can have everything you want in that bait well. I mean, you can black it out and you'll have bait all day long. Now let's go to the Helm next and show you some of the things I've done in there, because I've done something special. On my Helm, of course I've got a Raymarine. I've got a built-in Raymarine. This is the 9-inch Axiom Pro. It does everything I need. I've got it loaded up with Navionics Platinum Plus software. I've got a single gauge for mercury, but I can also run the gauges off my Raymarine. I have the Bennett trim tabs. This is the new tab, the mercury binnacle. You've got a station here with all your switches. I've got an accessory switch. I've got all my lights in the lockers, the cockpit, live well 1 and 2, my bilge and my nav lights. I have a manual so that once I'm down off the platform, I can put my blade, my power pole blade up or down. Kill switches here. You'll also notice I've got a little USB port here. I use a lot of GoPro cameras and even charge my cell phone. This is a nice feature where I used to always have a DC plug there. Now I just have that. Now I want to show you what I did underneath the Helm. So I'm going to go to the other side here and get down in there. All right, well, this is a little bit different perspective than normal for me on a Flats Class YouTube video, but I wanted to show you some of the inside benefits of having Hells Bay rigging your boat. So inside here, I've got my cranking battery. I've also got my battery switch box in here, and I've got my fuse panel, and I just wanted to show you how tight all the wiring is when you are a Hells Bay customer. I mean, just look how clean all of the work is in here. It's a remarkable job. They do an excellent job with all their stuff. They put Optima batteries in the boat, which are high quality batteries. This little plug that you see hanging right here, well, that's just something I've got up forward to charge my batteries. And that's the new power pole charge in the forward compartment. So I'm going to show you that. Well, I'm going to show you that next. Hanging upside down to show you guys the inside of that helm. Well, that's not something I do every day, but I wanted just to give you an idea of how good and how professional the rigging is here at Hells Bay Boat Works. Now up front, the rigging is just as impressive. Take a look at my batteries, how they're set up. Everything is super clean. I mean, super clean in here. Switches. I've got a 28-gallon fuel cell here that I set my dock lines on. I keep my foot towel in here for people to wipe up. I've got a really sophisticated gas gauge here. But remember, the United States Navy, they use something very similar to this. It's just a lot longer. Again, you've got the deep channels in here in the forward hatch. You've got these drains right here that evacuate the water quite easily. Oversized, robust gaskets that keep everything dry up here. And I will tell you this, when I'm fishing, I never keep wet stuff in the front compartment. Plus, I don't want any added weight. So I try to keep the weight to a lesser degree up front than anywhere else in the boat, because I want that bow rise, especially in rough water. So you'll not see me put life jackets up front. I won't put wet towels and things like that up front, or cast nets, or any of that goes up front. None of it. I keep it very minimalist up here. Dock lines, foot towel, a throwable, because the Coast Guard wants me to have one. And then I've got, you saw a line layer up there that I have from Carbon Marine. I have that for my fly fishing customers. One of the nice things about being a traveling angler like myself is Hells Bay puts nothing but the finest, I mean the finest trailer underneath their product. It protects both the boat and someone like me who does not want to have a problem. So the Ramblin' trailer that Hells Bay Boat Works has partnered with, they build an excellent trailer. I mean, with oil-bathed bearings back here, torsion control axle. I've got a walk board. All this is stainless fenders for the Marquesa, as you'll see here. High quality Rainer ST tires. I always put a motorcycle tag for my personal tag on my trailers so that I don't have to put them down here below the boat, below the lights. I tend to lose them all the time. They've got built-in guide-on bunks. It's just an awesome trailer. And if you travel like I do, you appreciate the ride of a good trailer, protecting your transom, the product that you've spent so much money on. You want to spend money on that trailer, I promise you, and you want it to ride well. All right, let's wrap this up with a little bit of stuff about the rod tubes and where you put the push pole, and then we're done. All right, we're gonna wrap this up talking about rod storage. That's right. One of the things nice about Hells Bay is the fact that all the undergunnel storage is all carpeted, so it protects those rods and reels. I've got 9-foot rod tubes. They are all chrome bezeled, easy to see. I have undergunnel lighting here, so I never have a problem. I have both rod tubes going forward and backwards back there, as you can see. That allows me to carry up to 8 rods, 9 feet long. It's just, I mean, they've thought of everything in this boat. I hope me going through my own personal boat really helps you guys make some better decisions when you order your next Hells Bay, hopefully, or if you're just building a flat skiff. These are some ideas that will help you. If you like what you see here on Flats Class YouTube and what I'm doing with you, please subscribe. And give us a big thumbs up. We want you to smash that button and say, hey, I like what I'm seeing. I want to see more. Tell all your friends, it's my job to make you a better angler. Until next time, Captain C.A. Richardson signing off from Flats Glass YouTube.